Is he not? Oh, I feel bad, man. Like I think he's jet lagged still because it's been like 3 days in the competition and he looks really exhausted.
When you fly out from Korea to anywhere, I can tell you get really jet lagged. I'm very used to that by now.
Yeah, poor kid, poor kid. Well, you know, game number 1 goes to the Warrior, and Warrior versus Priest here. How big of a win was that?
I think it's like a slightly favored deck anyways. I think the Priest is not the most important deck in this lineup by any means.
Yeah, but at the same time, if you win that matchup, it would have been a great game breaker.
Huh? That's for sure. I'm actually, in fact, looking at the lineup, I'm like, I'm not even sure I would have used Priest. I feel like the other 3 decks are decks that I would be more excited to use.
Yeah, I really like Warlock in the current state of the metagame. And it seems like neither of these guys are leaning towards Warlock yet.
But honestly, like, if they did mind game each other, Herudra won the mind game because Priest vs. Warrior is a matchup that you want every time. You just got a bit unlucky there.
That's true, as opposed to you know, Druid, for example.
Oh, you mean okay, Priest against one of these decks in this lineup. Absolutely, I do agree with that. But
maybe Priest against Zoo.
Unless
and then Priest would have a second chance at beating something else. And if that happened,
but
then
do you think that? Let's say that these are both handlock decks. Don't you think Priest is? They're only using 3 decks
it's
here.
obviously unfavored versus Warlock and Druid.
Warrior's
beating the Warrior
close,
is really important.
I mean,
if he falls short to Warrior here, he loses the series most likely.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, he's got to knock it out with this right now. Still, I wouldn't have. I would have just been like, okay, Priest is the deck I'm not going to use unless I'm countering maybe a Zoo deck in this lineup.
All right.
Maybe see him not running Warlock? No, I don't think so.
What do we see Seungjae's Warlock? We know that Herudra's running Zoo.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, you can double Druid with Claw if you just Sun Fury here. You can go Innervate turn 3 and then coin it.
Yeah.
The second one.
That's going to be a powerful set of turns too. Especially because you can even test to see what your opponent has to deal with the Sun Fury Protector.
Which is nothing.
Not as of yet.
You're putting the Druid the Claw into taunt too, right, Ignite?
Well, we saw that yesterday and was actually very curious. And I think it presents a real threat because you won't be able to go up to 6 armor unless he gets his shield block as well.
Yeah, that's true. But if you do charge him, you could take out the 1/4.
Even worse than that, because if you go for the taunts, even shield block won't be enough because Sun Fury is threatening that 2 armor.
Yeah. I like that a lot. You take out the possibility your opponent might have Death Spite to answer it, which he does.
What does he go
And
for?
it is going to be the bear form.
Okay.
Right?
He's still thinking?
He's still going over it. Like, I mean, there are some things that are tempting about charging it, but
in this situation,
like
it's just perfect.
Yeah, it seems like the better play. Black Knight is so far off. It's just you're going to get huge value out of this guy no matter
And
what.
before Warrior plays Innervate.
That'll be the day. 2 pint-sized summoners on board. Man, he actually cannot deal with this Druid the Claw. He has to use unconventional methods, the Death Spite here.
I think he's going to pop that spot in Brawl next turn. And not attack, I think. Is that a possibility? What do you think?
Actually, if he doesn't attack, yeah, I kind of like this. If he does attack, then he's planning on using one of these 2 shield slams, obviously.
Like, we see he has a second Druid Claw, which he's probably going for. It depends if he's going for the 4-4 or the 4-6. If he goes for the 4-4, the Brawl will have a 66%. To actually be very useful. Oh, he attacked though. So you want to guarantee the Brawl will be able to then finish off with a weapon, I suppose?
I think he's actually planning on just using the shield slam, but I think this is going to change as soon as he sees the next play.
What if he low fabs? It's going to be a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
Low fabs game breaking because he takes those 6 and he has to face tank another 4 possibly.
Yeah,
and another 7 from Lothab and Sun Fury the turn after.
Yeah, I think it's good because what Lothab can do after is also pave the way for Druid Claw. The next one could be in charge, so that way you don't have to worry about.
So Warrior would be by about 10 HP left and 2 turns. Pretty much.
It is really funny what Lothab does when you actually say it out loud. It's like, okay, so now he can't remove anything, and
then
I already have minions on board, and it looks like your only removal is a weapon. Uh-oh.
Yeah, I like it the more you phrase it that way.
Could even be lethal next turn, actually. Could it?
No.
If he attacks for 6, then he takes another 4 from the weapon. He goes.
With
he's
7 on
trading
board. No, I don't think.
He traded, so that's out of the way. Ooh.
So he's going to put this in charge mode then? Immediately
Yep.
start attacking as well. So killing off the Armor Smith is because you don't trust, is it Cruel Taskmaster or, because it did have that, like, are you just afraid what it can
okay,
do?
yeah. I mean, that's kind of fair. That's a good draw, though.
All right.
Well, you can clear the board with Execute and Shield Slam. But do you really want to
These
use those 2 hard
faces.
removals already?
These faces from Seungjae is almost as if he's angry that he drew
Yeah.
Execute's. Like, well, I mean, Execute's pretty good here, right?
Well,
Either that or someone spiking his water bottle with lemon juice.
you can either go for the 2 hard removals and clear the board, or just brawl it up. I think brawl might be the best option actually, because
You
then you
think
keep
so?
the other 2, and you have a bigger.
But the
You
thing
have
is,
more
if you
possibilities for next
brawl
turns.
and it leaves like this 4-1, you're gonna feel bad.
Well, you just want to clear anything that survives with a
I feel like
weapon.
I'd use the 2 hard ones here, but I see what you're saying about the brawl.
But if you use the 2 hard ones, how often is he gonna get 3 minions on board again?
Well,
He's gonna Loatheb next turn, for example. Which is his 5 drop left. So the Loatheb drops, it's gonna hit for 5 the turn after.
Well, I mean, Drew doesn't have combo yet. I mean, you're trying to
Still
look.
4 turns far though.
You're
for 11.
trying to dig for lethal, if you're the Druid player, but I think he's still really far off from being able to find a way to do it.
Yeah. It is definitely going to take a while, but Loatheb, obviously, as you were saying there, Ignite, going to be a very strong play here. No real way for him to get rid of this.
Loatheb just fired a big
No, Shield
cloud
Slam.
of purple
Blocked him
gas.
off, but
Look at that turn.
he just
Wow.
denounced, he had nothing.
Yeah, he couldn't play anything. And
Yeah, but I think that sometimes slow rolling those turns might actually confuse your opponent
Right.
and make him think
Like, what do you
maybe he had
have?
something to do in that turn.
Well, he
But
played.
he opted not, so is he slow rolling me?
Yeah.
well, that
yeah.
wasn't slow at all. He just armor up past
Exactly.
really
Yeah,
quick.
yeah.
That's what I'm
But
saying.
this has been the story of Seungjae throughout this tournament. He's been
story of-
playing too fast, and I
Yeah.
think that there's not a pro in the world that would disagree with that.
Yeah, he's
Remember
speeding
watching-
Sung jealous.
Yeah, you casted Renier Hour as well.
Yeah,
Wasn't he one of the fastest players you saw?
He plays as fast as Seungjae, actually, yeah, or sometimes even faster. This has actually been like a recurring thing in the Korean scene where they play quite quickly.
I think they probably consider reflexes most important.
Well, this is a little bit interesting. I think Wild Growth to get close to scenarios is
Yeah.
fine, but then how do you follow this up? Keeper of the Grove to the face?
Well,
Are you going to just hero
why not?
power?
You got a second one.
But if you,
You're going to force him to clear both. Brawl's
Yeah.
not going to be a good option at all.
I mean, it is reasonable pressure too.
For example, Keeper's doing 2, okay, but Shield Block's going to come off and Shield Slam on the Loatheb, and then Keeper's going to deal another 2, for example. So I think this is actually fine. And you already have a second silence there.
You're getting so low. It's getting a little bit scary for him.
That snare is also going to be very scary.
All right, well, he's got another shield block. Cruel Taskmaster to, well, I guess, yeah, at least he's staying alive, but it feels like Warrior's just sitting duck and waiting until the late game where he can get those legendaries and try to remove.
Warrior has no tempo right now. And you're just capitalizing on that. However,
God.
there's no Ancient of Lore, so...
Would you wrath your own minion here?
Well, it's possible, but...
I'd consider it.
Do you want to do it?
I
guess you
think
do
I
wanna
would. This
cycle.
turn is too weak if you
Yeah,
don't.
yeah, yeah.
And I don't want to cast the Keeper here, to be
Yeah,
honest.
for sure.
So,
But what if you get a lure? You're going to be so pissed. Like,
yeah, no, I mean, that would suck. But if you get anything else, you can play it.
hopefully a turn 5 drop.
Yeah.
Spectral Knight, does he
Well,
run those?
there's a high density of draws that you can get.
Yeah.
Like, Druid doesn't run high curve minions or high mana cost minions other than, what, they're Ancient of Lores in this case scenarios?
Do we know if he runs Spectral Knights or Belchers or Argent Commander maybe?
I think he does, maybe even an Azure Drake too. Toss it in there.
It would be viable to Wrath.
Oh, you
before
don't
If
want
he
to
wraths
wrath
after
now.
hero
Yeah.
power.
You don't wanna
No,
do
you don't
it.
wrath now just to save face in case you draw something really good.
Yeah. If he draws a 5-drop on that wrath after a hero power that was unneeded, it's like,
Yeah.
that's brutal.
No, I
But
can
because he
clear
didn't, Fiery War Axe needs a little bit extra push from the Cruel Taskmaster.
hey.
So
I
That
think
works
Warrior is getting the wiggle room it needs.
Yeah.
Scenarios comes off, Brawl comes down, and if Scenarios doesn't live, then there's going to be a big twist here. As we see, the Warriors are 18, and he can keep and going up and up and up on armor, and he has the Alex Strauss as well if he goes down to the 14th threshold.
I feel like this game, very good chance that Alex Strauss is going on to the Druid.
That as well, yeah. Because you got all the armor to support yourself.
Yeah. Well, this brawl is going to be good. This brawl suddenly does become insanely powerful. You're questioning if he'd even have another good spot to use it, but I can't even imagine a better spot that could come up in this game for it.
Keeping the Wrath and the Innervate, I mean, at this point, the brawl is going to go down, and if Scenario survives, it's bad news, but it's only going to be the Treant. Now, interestingly enough, I was wondering, like, what's the merit of using the Innervate and Wrath there? Because I think Innervate doesn't get too much better in this game.
What do you think
right?
here? Do you want a death spot?
No, it's a pretty good point, but he hasn't drawn either Ancient of Lore either, so maybe some more powerful turns, maybe he gets a big combo off, he sees the Warrior recovering on health.
He's considering popping that spot here, but I suppose he does this because he has Alex Strauss already, and that allows him to face tank and he'll back up to 15 if he wants to.
Sure. Well, he doesn't have the mana to do that, plus another
this top
thing.
deck. If he gets a 5-drop, he can innervate it out. That's going to be huge.
There's a high chance that he'll get something he can play.
Well, hey, that Azure Drake could be nice.
Yep.
Chillwind Yeti, not terrible either, doesn't fit quite as much.
Well, Chillwind is higher health, so there's no direct target.
Tied to the bites. But you don't mind him taking the 4, though.
Yeah, like Azure Drake is a great way to just get armor and charges
and
off.
you're drawing into your combo, which you want ASAP. If you draw a piece now, you can top deck the second piece.
But then you also have Azure Drake with removal options with Wrath.
Yeah, that's true too. So both these plays are actually really good, but Yeti is a little bit more stable on this board. And there's no way to deal with either of them. Wow, that's painful.
You can Loatheb and stop the combo, but still.
Yeah, and now that because he made such a big powerful play, you're afraid of dying to the combo, even though we know that Herudra is actually pretty far away from that right now.
Yeah. Well,
it has to be Loatheb.
I guess he death spot into the face, so he can proc it next turn and Alex Strauss himself. Because there's no other way to stay alive.
God, that's brutal.
And your life total would have to be above 4 or 5, so you can face tank next turn. So you can Acolyte and armor up, which I guess is what he'll have to do.
And you know what? That makes the death bite attack in the face even better. So.
Oh, yeah? Does he do it? Because he really needs to. Like,
is he considering actually, like, okay. No, I like this play a lot better. But if he did, like, hit the Yeti, he could clear both with weapon next turn. It just brings him so
your
low
life total
that
wouldn't
it's
be
like,
enough. Why didn't play
if you have, like, a
Acolyte?
swipe, you lose.
Yeah, the Acolyte is a little curious.
I think that's straight up a mistake. There's, like,
you have
can't
3 mana
save
left. You have no
Acolyte.
other options. You need to
well,
draw.
you're not going to
have
play
no
it
cards
next.
in
You're
hand.
not playing it next turn either.
No.
And if you force them to
it won't get
go
played this
into
game.
Acolyte, you're saving up 4 HP pretty much.
No.
Or forcing them to use a 7 mana Wrath. Either way, Acolyte was great there.
Yeah.
Oh, man. More draw, more power on the board, close to the combo. Rather amazing that Herudra hasn't picked up any of his 4 pieces. It's getting pretty deep into the deck.
Do you think he trades the lore here? Or even
No.
the Yeti with Hero Bar? Well, I think he might because you're always strengthening down to 14, but you kind of want him at 12, so that armor up isn't enough.
I actually would like him to just go to face. Like, you're forcing his hand. You have,
Brawl is
so
out.
much draw. The Brawl is gone. He has to remove, like, removing warrior minions with druid minions when the life totals look like this. I don't get it.
But he also realizes that if Lore and Yeti Hero Power go face, the Warrior's going to have 80 HP left. And that's going to allow him to face tank and clear one, and then Alex Strauss on top. And his heal doesn't have the combo. I think he's going for board control right now.
All right. Well, that is definitely what he's going for.
But right now, you can actually go into the Azure with a weapon, and if you get the execute. Did he save the Acolyte so he could proc it off with the Death Spite? What do you think?
Well, then he's not going to be able to
Possibly.
heal up.
Yeah, that's
So,
the truth.
In fact, that's what he's hovering over right now.
Should he Taskmaster first? See if you draw an execute.
Yeah.
That could change who you attack.
It does put more damage on the cool Taskmaster, though. Like, and you use more mana as well.
Well,
Also-
I mean, he's got to draw as many cards as possible. What is he looking to draw with the 7 mana as opposed to 5?
Yeah, you want to cycle for 2 cards and
Yeah.
get the execute.
But keep your
And even
options
execute
open.
doesn't save you from combo. But he needs to
If he's
gamble.
attacking, if he's already decided to attack this one, then
it's
it
execute.
doesn't make a difference.
Exactly.
Oh,
he got it.
It's a good draw.
And we know there's
Nasty.
not even a piece of combo in the Druid's hand, so
Could still come back from this for sure.
he doesn't want a Taskmaster. He has so
He
much
might
mana
be-
left.
He
No,
might
I-
be saying he wants to save it to proc. We've seen so many games where there's just nothing to get
Yeah, he went for the
Promash to
draw.
do anything.
He
but-
knows he needs to draw because those 9 drops are gonna be too
Wow.
slow.
Mm.
It's those mind games. We know he has no combo.
He's cycling through his deck pretty effectively. And now Herudra, well, he's just going to continue to dig and find other options. Ancient of Lore to dig through things.
He's just gonna Wrath that Acolyte for
Yeah,
one.
Wrath first. If you're
Does
going
he
to
keep
draw.
her after? Well, you have the Lord, do you? You want to pass up on Lore?
No, you can do both.
Well, he has the wild growth too that he has to cycle at some point. There's like a chance to get a bunch of cheap cards out of his hand this turn, but
right.
Yeah, you can.
let's see what he draws.
Wrath Keeper and Growth.
Yeah.
But I think you might not. Well, yeah, you do Growth because you want to draw into combo ASAP. And the Shade doesn't really matter for the combo because combo is lethal.
Okay.
Just one piece.
Yeah, I think now
think
going for Ancient of Lore is
actually fine.
perfectly fine,
Yeah.
honestly.
If he draws the second execute, that allows him to Taskmaster into the Lore, execute, and heal back up to 17. Which is actually very important.
Yeah, but the 17,
17 is good.
it's, I mean, it's okay, but if he has minions like Shade of Naxxramas sticking, you're just going to be forever paranoid, so. At a certain threshold, there's just no way you can play around the combo. Oh man, is that a game changer here? Is Ragnaros hitting
Well, if
Ancient
Roar
of
comes
Lore?
off the top, there's no game changer here.
He's drawn enough cards at this point. I would be very nervous.
Yeah, we
You
Especially
can't play
considering
around combo though.
The
Those-
Druid has about 12 cards, maybe?
3 of the cards in that hand have been there for a really long time. So
Yeah.
if you didn't put him on after these 3 cards he drew last turn, if you don't put him on having the combo, I think that's weird.
That's a really good observation,
But you can't play around the combo here anyways.
of course.
I think there's no way to play around combo. I think
He doesn't.
Ragnaros
Rag is
your
great.
best shot.
Take
You're
the flip.
gambling every turn. He has been gambling for the 3 or 4 turns, and he has stayed alive.
If he has a combo, which if I'm Seungjae, I'm like, he has a combo, I'm dead. I think you play the Rag, because even if it misses, right, you can Alex Strauss yourself the next turn if he somehow doesn't have lethal, which is impossible to imagine.
Well, he's got 13 damage just straight up from swipes. This needs
To hit the
to
Lord.
hit the lore, or else it's game over for Seungjae. No, so that's going to do
He
it.
needs 8 damage, Force, and Hero
Well,
Power.
he has
7.
2
Oh, yes,
swipes. Yeah.
He's
Oh, I need to do the
Oh.
combo.
the combo, the swipes,
Well,
whatever.
he was so deep in the deck, it didn't even matter.
Should he maybe swipe plus? No.
Yeah, and you know, it doesn't really even matter what's going on here, as it looks like Seungjae will immediately concede, and we're gonna have a tied series.